said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
watching, and for those who are
He come all fat up, he come grooving up
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm so excited. While we wait for our guest of honor to get here, I have a couple of things that I wanted to go over. First of all, I want to thank everybody for taking their time out of their Friday afternoon to spend it with us. Um, I'd like to thank Shit Show and Belvie for sharing out my life on their community pages. I also need to make a special acknowledgement to Um, Steffers and her children donated a bag of dog food to their local animal shelter. So I wanted everybody to give a round of applause and say thank you for helping out the fur babies and getting that part taken care of because feeding the animals that need rescued is very important to me. Um, Also, you're gonna notice my partner in crime shit show is not here with me today. That's because she's out there uh, on her new Can Am, whatever, having a blast with her husband. How dare she? She found something better to do than hang out. So, but just want to let her know that we miss her, but she's listening. She did want me to add that I was invited, even though she's like forever away from me. But one day I'm gonna head over there. I'm jealous of her too. So, our guest of honor is here today. Let me add him.
Hello.
Hey, Harley Dad, how are you?
I'm doing good. Sorry about that.
No,
Miscommunication
you're
on my part.
fine.
It did my math wrong.
No, I was worried. I was like, oh, I hope he's okay. So,
Yep. I'm fine.
welcome
Just
to
go back to sleep.
That's okay. Welcome to my channel.
Thank you for having me. Hello to everybody in chat that I can't see right now because my tablet's outside because I was unprepared.
Oh, you're unprepared. You need to go get it. Would you feel more comfortable getting it?
Yeah, let me grab it real quick
Hey,
and I'll
sure.
be right back.
Go right ahead. So, while we wait for him, let me see. So, I talked about, um, I want to welcome all the new people that have subbed up to my channel. I appreciate it. Um, Everybody is welcomed here, and hopefully, everybody enjoys the show. It's going to be a two-parter. We're going to take care of the important business first, and that is focusing on um, something positive. We need something positive in our community. Hey, just me. How are you? Um, and then we'll move the second half of this show. We're going to give Harley Dad plenty of time, whatever time he needs to talk about him, and then we'll move on to the other thing. Watch her crazy. Let me see. What is she saying? No telling. Stick your tongue out in the avatar. Then you need to share it. You're funny. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, I'm back. Thank you.
All right,
I see
Harley Dad.
Watcher's already causing trouble.
Watcher is always giving me a hard time, but that's what we love about Watcher. That's what
Oh,
we love
see,
about her.
yeah,
So, did you have a good nap?
yeah, it was pretty good until Belle
Good.
woke me up, but I'm glad she did.
I know. I was like, can you please call him? Because you weren't answering my text messages. And she was like, got it. I'm on it.
I just did my math on her. I do apologize again, but I do see a lot of names I know in here. We got Bell, we got
Yeah,
Homeworld, we got Evil Gamer, Watcher, Night Owl.
yeah,
Hello,
we
everybody.
travel in
Steffers.
packs. Yeah, we
Yeah.
travel in packs. So, I do want to forewarn everybody. Everybody that's used to me knows that my house is like Animal Kingdom, Wild Animal Kingdom. So my dogs and cats are wound up today. So if you hear a cat fight or a dog snoring, it's okay. Don't panic. Everybody's okay. Um, we'll just deal with it. They usually work it out amongst themselves. It's better to stay out of it so I don't get hurt in the process. So Harley, Harley Dad, I'm sorry. I only have 4 questions to ask um, throughout, while you're talking, but for the most part, I wanted to open the floor to you. Um,
Mhm.
but I want to start off like, tell us about your family without mentioning names, details, doxing yourself, personal information, whatever you're comfortable with sharing with us, because I know you have. I know you've been going through a lot, and you've experienced a lot recently. I don't know many details about it. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to share that with everybody else that is like me that doesn't know. So I thought we'd start off with, you know, tell us about your family, and your lovely wife is welcome to come on cam too if she wants to. No pressure. Um,
No, we'll get to that in a little bit.
okay, so just
You won't be seeing her.
what whatever you feel comfortable about sharing. Like I know you're a dad. I know you have children. Like how many kids do you have? Stuff like that.
Yeah, so we've been married for the 15th will be our 13th wedding anniversary. We actually kind of funny story how we met. We met online, um, although we lived 5 houses away from each other. So thought that was kind of funny, yeah. But yeah, we've been married 13 years. We've got 2 kids, a 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old son. I took them to school this morning and obviously fell back asleep, but that's because I was panel hopping last night like normal. Um, but yeah, we've got 3 dogs. We live in a crappy apartment right now, but eventually we'll buy a house again. We had to sell a house 2 years ago. We sold our house in Southern Oregon because my job down there closed down and said if I wanted to keep my job, I had to move up either to Portland or Tacoma. Well, they said Tacoma, and I said, well, what about Portland? And luckily, there happened to be an opening in a couple months, so I stayed in my parents let me borrow the travel trailer. This was 2 years ago. So for 2 months, I borrowed the travel trailer and stayed in Tacoma until the job opened up in Portland, and then I moved down here. We we stayed in the hotels, a couple hotels, because they were still living back home. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they were still living back home while I was staying in the trailer in Tacoma. She was packing stuff up, getting stuff ready to sell the house. So once the job opened up here, we sold the house down there, we closed on it, and we moved up here. We stayed in hotels for 2 months because we were trying to find a place. The day that we moved up here into the hotel, we left Southern Oregon at 9 o'clock, drove to Portland, which took it's about 5.5 hours depending on traffic. I unloaded everything in the hotel room, got them settled, took an Uber to the airport, and flew to Texas for 2 weeks for my job. Went,
Yes.
yeah, so
Sorry.
I've been to we actually almost moved to a little place called Conrail. But
Really? That's
yeah,
awfully close to me.
right. But so yeah, I did 2 weeks in Texas. Came back home, ended up catching the Ovid while I was there. Got lucky there because the only thing that happened was I lost my sense of smell. I didn't get any sick, no cough, no fever, none of that stuff.
Right.
Um, anyway, long story short, we ended up staying in hotels for 2 months till we found a place. Got in the place, been here ever since. We're technically in Vancouver, Washington, but I work in Portland. Um, so yeah, the kids love their little school here, which I do too, because it's only like 360 students versus back home it would be like 700 or 800. Because a lot less schools down there than there are up here. But, sorry, I'm rambling at this point.
You're fine.
Um,
You're tell us. I
but,
just want to get everybody a sense of what you're dealing with, the stressors that you're dealing with.
yeah, so
And anytime
that's the family rundown.
I do that.
And then you can see the one dog back there itching away because he's paranoid about
Aw.
fleas. That's our old man. He's like 12. He has no teeth, but still runs around and jumps around like he's 2-year-old pup. So
I know I
he's doing
told
good.
you guys.
But yeah. So that's the family. Kids are at school. What is it? First kindergarten and first grade and second. I don't know. They go to school. I take them to school. They go to class. That's all I know.
So you
But
boy, girl, what? for your
Yeah,
kids?
yeah. The oldest is a girl, the youngest is a boy. So 9-year-old girl and 7-year-old boy. And
Gotcha. Beautiful family, it sounds like.
for the
Yeah.
most part, they're our kids, so they're a pain in the butt, but we still love
My kids are grown, and now I have 9
them.
grandchildren. So,
Oh, wow.
yep. I'm a young grandma, though. I'm not old.
Uh,
I became a grandma at 32.
oh, wow. I
Yeah,
became a dad at 30.
I became a mom at 16. Started early.
Yeah, see?
Yep, started life early. I was in a hurry. Um, okay, so let's kind of tell us about your injury. Like, where did all this crap start? Like, what happened? If you don't mind sharing it with us.
So in September of last year, one of my sister's friends had some yard work that she needed to get done, but she didn't have anybody to do it. So I was like, yeah, I can come over. So I took my son, we went over there, and we cleared a bunch of blackberry bushes out of her backyard for her. And while we were there, at some point, well, getting ahead of myself again. So I have type 2 diabetic. I have neuropathy in my toes. I can't feel the front half of my foot, and I haven't for years. You could literally hit my toe with a hammer, and I won't feel it. But so later on that night, I got home, and when I went to take my shoes off, it was kind of like it felt stuck, and I was like, "What? That's weird." What had happened was there was a nail that had gone between the third and the fourth toe, so it didn't go into it; it went between, and it got stuck. So it was ripping through the sock and taking it off, which is why it felt weird. But it nicked this one just enough that was on a Sunday. By Wednesday, I was admitted to ER. I was admitted to the hospital. Went to ER, was admitted to the hospital. They ended up having to take the fourth toe, and in order to close the wound, they either had to take the pinky too, so that would be 2-toe amputation, or they had to take the bone on the fourth. So they took the bone on the fourth, essentially squeezed my foot together in order to seal the wound. So that was in September. In October, while I was still out of work and healing, my truck got stolen with $20,000 worth of tools and equipment. I'm former diesel mechanic in my past life, so I had a bunch of tools and stuff that got stolen, and hunting gear and fishing gear and camping. Anyway, about $20,000 worth of stuff, not including the price of the truck. Still have not found the truck to this day. But then in December, I ended up getting an ulcer on the bottom of my left foot, the same foot that had the pinky toe taken, or not the pinky toe, the fork toe taken. I got an ulcer on the bottom of it, and basically I waited too long to go to the doctor because I'm like, well, I just used all my time off for the toe, so I don't have any time off of work and all this stuff. And so by the time I went into ER, they admitted me, and the doc came up the next day and totally blew me away because I figured they were going to take like maybe half of the foot or another part of the foot, or he's like, we have to do a below the knee amputation. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, because the way the technology we have with prosthesis is we can't really do a half a foot and expect you to be successful for the rest of your life. It may happen, it may not, kind of thing. But if we do a below the knee amputation, then you have a better chance of healing and living a successful life, almost normal life. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm 6'3", 275 pounds. I bawled like a fucking baby. Pardon my language. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on here, but I do cuss
You're
a lot.
fine.
So.
No, I cuss all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I bawled like a baby. Yeah, that's the fitting I'll get to that part of the story. Anyway, ended up having it taken off. I spent 5 days in the hospital. No, yeah, 5 days in the hospital, and then got out, and it wasn't healing right. It was very painful. It felt very wrong. For a while, it felt very wrong, and so finally, when I went in and saw the doctor again, they're weird with the appointment. They put the first appointment a month out after surgery, which I thought was really weird.
Yeah.
But by the time I get into that appointment,
A week or 2 weeks.
exactly, that's normal. I've had a lot of surgeries in my life because I'm a medical mess apparently. But yeah, normally it's a week, maybe 2. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 days. Like, I guess it all just depends on me. It depends on the surgeon and the surgery. But when I finally got in to see him after that month, he was like, yeah, something's not right. So they had to do what's called a revision. They had to go back in, pull, pull all the stitches out, reopen the leg up, and take a little bit more of the bone, clean everything out, and ended up doing 8 days in the hospital because they sent the bone out for a test to see what, because he said it looked like it was infected. Well, it was, and it turned out it was multi-antibacterial resistant E. coli. So they put me on literally the strongest antibiotics they had in the hospital. And I spent another 8 days in the hospital till it finally got rid of that infection. And then again, it was, to me, didn't seem like it was healing like it should. It was very painful. I spent, let's see, so I went for my second operation was in January. And then in February, I went in for my follow-up. And it wasn't infected, but it wasn't healing. It was still real swollen. It was draining. We had to change the bandage every day. My wife had to change.
Did that have something to do with your diabetes and your neuropathy?
It could have. We're not sure why it was taking so long. Okay. But it wasn't, they were like, yeah, normally by now, you'd be getting fitted for your leg, blah, blah, blah. But as long as it's still draining, that means it's still swelling. It's still swole up.
Right.
So, because that's apparently when it drains like that, it's the swelling escaping because it takes the path of least resistance. And so I would go in every 2 weeks and get like 2 or 3 stitches removed. Go in the next 2 weeks, get 2 or 3 stitches removed because I had one problem part in the middle where it was still draining. And finally, it all got down and everything, and I was able to go get casted, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize they did this. But essentially, they put your sleeve on your leg, and then they wrap it in saran wrap, and then they make a plaster cast of your leg so that they can build the leg without you having to be there for the whole process, which is great. Who has time to go sit at the place for hours and hours?
Right.
So we went and did that, and then she got it all set up, and what they do is they do what's called a check socket, and that is basically that they're checking the socket. So the leg part that you put on at that point is not what you're going to have, but the foot and ankle part is. So in the video, if you watch the video on my page or wherever, you see me taking my first steps for the very first time, and you can.
You ready to take your first steps? Yeah. Now let's do it. Ready to go? Yeah, man. Ready?
Definitely a lot more flex in the foot than I thought there would be.
Yeah. In a good way?
Yeah.
Good. When he sits down next, let's bring these bars up because I want him to be able to stand up a little taller. Mm-hmm.
Does feel weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to feel weird because it's all new, right?
Yeah.
You're doing great. You're doing really, really well. Good.
Does seem to kind of pull.
Yeah, so that video was the video of the very first steps I'd taken in 5 months and 10 days.
That's amazing.
The prosthetic lady was extremely impressed, said that, yeah, so that's the actual foot. This was before I got it and before I tried it and everything. That's the actual foot I have now. But the prosthetic lady was very impressed. She even asked me, she's like, are you sure you've never done this before? And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure my other leg's real. So no, I haven't.
Right. You're like, yeah, I do this all the time.
Right. Yeah. But, I forgot where I was at in the process. Anyway, so the socket that you see on that video, you could see through it, and that's for them to make sure that it's not rubbing in the wrong place before they make the actual leg. So yeah, I went in, did the check socket, and initially I was going to have my leg, our end date when I first went in there was going to be June 16th. It was going to be delivery day, as they call it. I did so good that day. I had an appointment 2 weeks later. She's like, yeah, by your next appointment, you'll have your leg. And I was like, what? So I went in 2 weeks later. The cool thing, if nobody knows, because I didn't know this either, is when you get a prosthetic, they ask you what design you want on it. And, I thought it was going to be like, oh, you have to pick between these, these designs. No, you can take any fabric that's like a t-shirt, something that t-shirt or thinner, and give it to them, and they can put it on there.
That's awesome.
So we went and searched Joann's. I ended up with a camouflage one. I would show you. Well, I could maybe show
I
you
think we
some
have
of
a
it.
picture of it. That way you don't take your leg
Yeah,
off. Yeah.
that'd be a whole lot easier.
Yeah, I don't do that.
So I ended up with the camouflage, and I think it looks really cool. But yeah, literally, like you can take your favorite band if you have a T-shirt and cut out that part of it and give it to them, and they can put it on there. It's really
I
cool.
totally have like a Motley Crue, Metallica.
Yep. You can get a picture of like your family, put on a T-shirt and put on there and kind of stuff. It's amazing. Anything if you can get it put on a T-shirt, you can get it put on a prosthetic. But
Yeah.
I never knew that. That was pretty cool.
I think I have a picture of the. Oh no, I don't have it. That's okay. We'll get it.
So also during this time, so in September I lost a toe, October I lost a truck, December I lost the foot. My grandma died in March, and my mom broke her hip a week before my grandma died. So it's been a very rough 6, 7 months, 8 months, whatever it's been now. And on top of that, on Tuesday I had to take my wife to ER, and they admitted her, and she's been there ever since with pneumonia.
Oh no!
They pulled 600 milliliters of fluid off her right lung 2 days ago, which is that's 20 ounces basically. A soda bottle full of fluid. Tested it. It tested positive for some bacteria that they want to keep her in the hospital for a couple extra days. Hopefully she'll come home tomorrow because she texted me today and said she won't be coming home today.
Okay.
Hopefully she'll be coming home tomorrow. But that's what I said. My wife won't be on camera. I guarantee you that. So yeah, luckily it happened after I got my leg. So I'm able to go pick up the kids without having to take a walker. I'm able to cook dinner without, sitting in the chair. And it's just the timing. I mean, obviously the timing sucks because I don't want her to be in the hospital, but the timing couldn't have been better for me having got my leg and stuff.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, gosh, who would have known doing yard work? Because we all do yard work,
Yep.
and just that. I mean, I was wondering if you were diabetic because
Yes.
I know that diabetics have feet issues and they have to be very careful with their feet and any injuries to their feet. But just I mean, you were just like even just doing yard work, helping somebody out, and then next thing you know, your life changes completely.
Yeah. Well, and of course, she feels bad. I'm like, it is not your fault at all.
No,
Don't feel bad. It's just,
no.
but
But
I think any of us would feel the same way if we had somebody come over and this ended up happening to them. You'd be like, damn, I feel bad. It's my fault. I think we all would feel that way, but.
yeah, and you've got such a great positive attitude about it. I love it. And
One of my favorite sayings is if I ain't laughing, I'm crying, and I fucking hate to cry. So.
right. So what do your kids think about it? Do they think it's cool? Daddy's got this leg that's camo.
So initially, my son was having some issues at school, and
Okay.
we asked him what was going on, and it was because there's camo. That's the first day I walked out of the place with it.
Cool. Yeah.
So the whole thing up to the knee is camo, but obviously the sleeve covers part of it. I don't know why I'm pointing at it like you guys can see where I'm pointing, but yeah, my son had some issues, and we sat him down talking about it because my son is the more sensitive one,
Right.
and he was very upset about my leg because Daddy's on a walker, he can't do anything ever again, but And I'm like, no, this will get better. I may never be 100% again, but it'll get a lot better than it is now. And it was in that moment that I got my inspiration, and that was I'm going to show my kids nothing's going to fucking stop me. Nothing should stop you. You do what you need to do. You get what you need done, and handle your business.
I love
Just
that.
nothing can stop you. And that right there, ever since then, has been they're like, oh, you can't do this, can you? I'm sorry. No, watch me do it. I took them for a walk around the block on Tuesday, so I just got my leg last Friday. Oh, I'll put that up. So today's the 1 week anniversary of me getting my leg.
Wow.
So on Tuesday, took them for a walk with the dogs around the block. Granted, it wasn't super far enough, and then I regretted it later. especially since that's the same night I had to take my wife to ER and then I had to walk around the ER and hospital for hours. But
Right.
I did overdo it that night for sure. But if I need to get up and go walk and check the mail or take the trash out, I can do it now. I cooked dinner last night without a problem. I did it on Belby's panel actually. But yeah,
Well,
it's showing them. I'm
you're
not perfect. They still limp, but
you're
I'll
getting
get
a
better.
lot of love in chat. I don't know if you see it.
Yeah.
Captain Nate says people run marathons with prosthetics.
Yeah.
And you got this, Harley Dad. And I have seen people run prosthetic,
Yeah.
work, in the Olympics even.
Good old tink tink. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead. Interrupt me. I
That's what
talk.
I used to always call them was tink tink because it's tink tink tink. Not a derogatory term. I just say tink tinks.
Well,
But
you know what? You're in the club. You can do that now, right?
yeah, exactly. That was one of the greatest jokes I've heard, and I want to say it was Josh Blue. He's a disabled comedian. He's got cerebral palsy, I think. But he said something along the lines of, "Everybody always makes fun of disabled people, but we are literally the only minority that you could join at any time."
Yeah.
And that never really sank in until this, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's right."
Right. So tell me, how has this affected your career? Like, I don't know what your career is, but it has to have affected it some way, somehow, as a diesel. Well, you said you're a diesel mechanic.
No, I was a diesel mechanic.
You were. I mean, yeah, I watched my husband work on cars, and it's got to be different. You got to crawl up, you got to crawl under, you got to.
Well, so yeah, I was a diesel mechanic before my current career,
Oh,
and
okay.
that was one of my biggest thoughts was, oh my god, I'm gonna lose my job. Okay, now I'm not tooting my own horn or anything. Normally, when I'm working, I make $40 an hour, which is great money. That's why we moved 6 hours away from home when my job moved, because it's great money. In order to replace that, I'd have to work 2 jobs or become a doctor, and that's not happening at this point. So I'm a federal corrections officer. Okay. But I'm not one that's in the prison or jail with them. I transport them. Okay.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was my thought was, I'm going to lose my job. Oh my God, what are we going to do? We rely on this single income family, because I make the amount of money I do. The wife didn't have to work. So I'm like, well, this is it. I'm going to have to try and figure something out. Maybe I'll go back to wrenching. Maybe, I don't know. All these options are running through my head. So my wife calls my boss and tells her what's going on. And my boss calls me immediately. It was like, let us know when you're ready. We'll be here. We'll be here. You have your job. Don't worry about it. As long as you can still pass your DOT physical. And I was like, it was such a huge relief.
How awesome.
That I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Yes.
Because not many companies or jobs will. I mean, I've been out 6 months, and she texts me every week, hey, how's it going? We're still here. Let us know if you need anything, and can't wait till you come back to work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's really amazing. It really is.
When do you anticipate being able to go back to work? Is there like a timeline, or you just don't know right now because you're still working out kinks?
Yeah, so at this point, I'm thinking about a month. It just depends, because I'm walking, but I still have a limp because I messed up my knee years and years ago, and I never got it fixed. And of course, that's the knee with prosthetic now, and it didn't like walking then. And then it took a 6-month vacation, and now I'm trying to make it walk again, so it doesn't like it.
Well,
so I'm still working out the kinks.
Yeah, and also the area the prosthetic attaches to has to harden and callus up, and
yeah, exactly.
Do the rubbing and stuff. Hey, puppy, what's your dog's name?
So this one is Naya. It's one of the African languages. It's short for Naya theory because she survived. She was the only one of her litter that survived.
Oh, look at Naya. Puppy.
Normally a cleaner, prettier, fluffier girl, but obviously bathing the dogs hasn't been real high on our priorities list lately. So
yeah.
Okay.
Now, your medical benefits, were they through your job?
So yes, I paid. So what I do is it's $40 overall, but I get a base pay with a health and welfare pay. Okay. So even when I'm not working, I still get paid to health and welfare, which is $4 something an hour for 40 hours a week, which takes care of the medical benefits. Well, apparently after 180 days, it no longer pays me that. So my benefits no longer get paid.
Your
I was
medical
not made to, my medical benefits, my life insurance, my dental, all that stuff, my disability, the disability that I've been, living off of because I get paid 60% of my income,
right.
which again I know sounds like a lot. Because I make $40 an hour, but when you're used to making whatever and you take
Yeah.
40% of that away, it's a lot harder than most people think. Because I've had friends. Well, yeah, you're still making blah 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 blah. $3,000 a month, and I'm like, yeah, but my bills are $6,000 a month. So,
Exactly.
and that's not including food.
We
But
went
anyway,
we went through something not quite like your situation, but my husband got, he works in the oil field. So his job is not guaranteed from day to day. And they went through a layoff, and my husband got laid off back in 2008. And he
yeah,
went from making 8 to 10,000 a month and to nothing, and he applied for unemployment, and it was like $450 a week. That was
right,
Texas
yeah,
State max, and we were like, we can't live off that. So we learned to be very humble and live way below our means after
yeah,
that. We paid
yeah,
everything off with severance, and we learned real quick to live below our means because tomorrow is never promised. And
yep,
that way, if that situation ever comes back again, it's no big deal.
right, and that's what I've been thinking a lot lately too.
Learn, yeah. So, um, so your company that you worked for didn't offer, um, like
No,
of life insurance,
there's
accidental death and dismemberment, or anything like that.
well, all of that I have that I pay through my paycheck every week or
Oh,
every month, every 2 weeks. I pay twice a month. Um, but it's all paid for by my health and welfare. So, like I said, even if you take FMLA and you're not working, you're still getting paid that health and welfare, which is paying up for all those benefits. Well, after 180 days that I didn't know about, they stopped paying out because, I have digital pay stubs, but I know I'm not getting paid anything, so I'm not checking my pay stubs. And so I didn't know that they had stopped paying it until she called me one day. She's like, "Hey, you're $800 in the behind on your benefits. Your benefits have been shut off." And I was like,
whoa,
"What the fuck are you talking about?"
right.
So yes, so now my doctor's appointment or my prosthesis appointment I have next week is not covered. I tried to get a prescription picked up. I had to pay out of pocket for that. Usually would be zero cost for me. Um, and so yeah, I'm not getting my medical shit taken care of, which is obviously a big fucking thing for me right now. But on top of that, I'm not going to get my disability check at the end of the month. So we have literally zero income right now.
Okay.
And she's in the hospital that we're going to have to figure out how to fucking pay for that at some point. And yeah,
Well,
so this is the point because I never, not to interrupt you or cut you off, I never I never put my own GoFundMe out there or my own cash out. I never did that before because I'm not that type of person. But now
right,
I have to be that type of person because I have no other option.
right.
I'm
Well,
not walking good enough to be able to go get a side job or go back to work, and
of
it's
course.
just yeah.
Well, and you're having to take care of your children while your wife is sick now.
Uh huh. And
You know,
then once she gets home, I'm gonna have to take care of her because she's gonna need time to rest and recoup. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, just so you know, we've been my mods has and Belle, of course, has been sharing your GoFundMe as well as your. I've got your Cash App also being shared in chat, but I have your Cash App account scrolling through the bottom. Um, I hope people will the. I wanted everybody to hear your stories so that if they're able to help, they can help. I know I was pushing on Bells. I was pushing for your Cash App the other day because GoFundMe is great, but to me, Cash App is readily available immediately to you, and
right.
for prescriptions, for groceries, for gas money,
Yes.
whatever. But just know, don't stress over your wife's medical bills. They by law have to treat her whether you got money or not. And
Well, and she's applying for the state medical because
Yes.
there's no income now. So
Yeah,
she
and
does
they'll
have Kathleen H. as I said, social worker, but she does have a social worker she's talking to right now. Sorry.
yeah, and I think they backdate up to 6 months or so on those medical bills. So yeah,
Hopefully.
I think that well, that's how I think it works in my state. I'm assuming it's everybody's state it works like that. I don't see why they wouldn't. Um, so yeah, don't add that as a family stressor because by law they have to take care of her. They can't just dump her on the street and be like, "You're on your own."
Right.
So
Yeah.
um, yeah, so man, you guys are going through so much. It's crazy.
That's what I'm
Uh,
telling you. When it rains, it pours around here.
it
But
usually comes in threes, right?
well, I'm a double then. So I've got
Yeah.
6 of them, or what? 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I can't even remember.
Yeah,
But
well, I have a chat full of amazing people, and I have no doubt that they're gonna spill, they're gonna do what they can to help you out in any way, shape, or form. So explain to us because like I've never had a GoFundMe account. I don't know how that works. How does GoFundMe work?
so my sister set up the account while I was still in the hospital.
Okay.
Basically, what you do is you go to it. There's a link you can click that says donate, and then you can, from what I understand, you can use just your debit card. Type your debit card in there, and they go, put whatever amount you want. Good to go. Sometimes you have to do it twice because it messes up the first time, but I've never heard of it charging anybody twice. If you're worried about that, and then usually within 3 to 4 days, it'll be sent to my bank, and then I'll have
Okay,
access to
so
it. They take so
it goes directly to your bank account. You don't
yes.
have it doesn't just sit there until, you don't have to let it sit there for so long before you can draw
Nope.
it out.
Nope. If you donate if you donate like $100, I get 98 of it. Of course, they need to take their cut because they're providing the service, which is fine. It's not
Right.
very much. But yeah, it's usually it'll sit there for 3 or 4 days while they process it, and then it'll get deposited directly into my bank, and I'll have immediate access to it at that point.
Okay. Cool
So
beans. All right. And then you have a Cash App debit card, right?
no, Cash App again. Just if you donate to it, I go into the app and I submit. Withdraw basically, and then it goes into my bank account, and I have use of it immediately. Usually again for like $1.15 or something like that, or I can do it for free, but it'll take a couple of days to process to put in there.
Now, do you have a PayPal account? I have somebody in chat asking because they can't use Cash App for GoFundMe.
No, I do not have a PayPal. My wife does, but I have no clue what it is.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I
Now,
can maybe get that later and get it to you. But yeah,
absolutely. It's actually Homegrown that was asking. So
yeah, I
if
see that.
you're able to get that PayPal account set up, I know a lot of people prefer to use PayPal. With it being YouTube, it's more. I believe. I think it's more. There's more privacy there. Um,
No.
yeah, just let Homegrown or Belle know, and she'll pass it on to Homegrown.
And also on the GoFundMe, you can actually donate anonymously.
Perfect.
So if you want to donate, you don't want anybody to see your name. There is that option, and it'll just say anonymous $50, something along those lines.
Now with
Um,
Cash App, you can request a Cash App debit card for free, and it can
and
be
I
used.
I honestly have Cash App on a fluke. I never intended to get it, but somehow I ended up with one. So
Probably because I forced you the other day too.
no, I've had it for a couple months now, but I think it
Oh,
was. I don't remember why I got it, but I got it one day and had never used it until recently. Um, but yeah, that with Cash App, it does tell me the name of the person that sends you the money. I don't know
yeah,
if there's an anonymous option on it or not.
yeah,
But
yeah. Well, yeah, I love my Cash App card because I can just use it at any gas
just
pump,
use it like a debit, basically.
just like a debit card, credit card. It's amazing. But and you don't have to transfer it, pay that transfer fee into your bank account and stuff like that. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
and they're free. It offers it free, but man, that's amazing. You have like you're like a warrior. You're like a it's pretty
I'm
awesome.
just a man trying to go back to work to provide for his family. That's all
Gotcha.
I am.
And mad
Everybody says
respect.
you're such an inspiration, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be. I gotta do what I gotta do. You know.
You're just trying to get by and be a husband and a dad, right? But but
Exactly.
it but acknowledge that you need to accept the praise and acknowledgement because not everybody's gone through what you've gone through, and it's tough, and a
What's up,
lot of
guys?
people that have gone through what you've gone through, it consumes their emotions in their life, and you have such a bright spirit and such a positive attitude about it, and I'm pretty sure it's because you probably have an amazing wife and children that just keep you motivated and keep your eye on the prize at the end. And
Well, and I've got good friends, and people like Belle and homegrown. Encourage me every time they see me. You're doing a good job. Keep up the good. And
yeah,
just tell me that I've got such a positive outlook, which makes me want to be even more positive to make it get better quicker, kind of.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's a lot to go through. Is there anything else you want to add?
I
Did we miss
don't know,
anything?
Belle. Am I forgetting anything?
Bell?
Well, not really. I mean, just that's one of the reasons why you guys see me around so much on panels, though, is because at this point I've really got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Eventually, I will go back to work, and I will not be on panels as much, if at all. But
Well, you have to
that's
tell me.
also when I go back to work. The goatee, or all this has to go. I can keep the goatee because I normally have that, but all this has to go once I go back to
Oh,
work. Yeah.
yeah, it gives the inmates something to grab a hold of, huh?
I think that's positive because I'm in his life getting straight. No, you're right, Belle. I love Belle. She's amazing.
She is. Belle's
Well,
amazing. She's awesome.
thank you, homegrown. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody, please, if you can, make sure you reach out to either PayPal or is it GoFundMe or Cash App. Show your love and support if you can. If
Well,
not, just voice your love and support in chat for him. He can see
words,
that. Um,
words of encouragement are always accepted, and they're free. So,
and when you do go back to work, you better not disappear on us. We're gonna miss you, and I don't know you very well, but I've come to know you better, and I've seen you around, and you've always been a good dude, and I enjoy
always
I
try to be.
enjoy listening to you and have fun. Yeah, Watch Your Crazy says hit the Cash App. So.
It feels just catch, yeah. But
Yeah, anytime you need anything, if you have any updates, you're welcome to contact me and Val and share them on both our channels. Like I said, we all run in the same pact, but
them circles,
she has different circles than I have, and some
yeah.
people we share, but there's people in my chat that don't go to Bell, and there's a lot of people in Bell's that don't come to my channel. So um, you're welcome. Updates. I love updates. I love your story. I love your fight, and I love how you've come out of this such a good man and positive, and it,
I
it
appreciate
is
that.
inspiring, and you need to accept that. You are inspiring.
Okay, I'll accept it if you force me to.
I'm gonna force you, and I'm a bitch like that. I'm a pushy bitch. So I'm either
That
pushy or I'm
is
petty.
that is one of the other things about the GoFundMe is you don't necessarily have to go donate if you don't want to use that platform, but you can go and there are updates throughout this whole journey that my wife or my sister has done, and you can read about the steps that we've taken and stuff like that. Steps that we've taken. See what I did there? Being punny without even realizing it. But if you're interested in more of the backstory, that you can find updates about this whole journey on the GoFundMe.
That's awesome.
You can also leave words of encouragement on there. I don't know if you have to donate to leave words of encouragement because all the people that left words of encouragement did donate, but I don't know if you have to. I don't know a lot about it. Like I said, my sister set it up. I didn't even know she did it. And I've never used it. I've donated a couple of them before, but until now, I never used it. Even now, it says I'm one of the admins on it, but I can't access the back end of it. Like, I can just go to the page where you can donate. That's all I can see. So,
Yeah.
look it up.
Well, like I said, if you know, people in chat, if you're able to donate, if not, just leave words of encouragement. And all I ask, HarLeeDad, is if you'll, just show your appreciation, which I know you will. And
Yep.
if you need to make a list later on, and whatever, you can go over it. You could send it to me, and I'll post it on a community page. If that person wants their name out there, some people are kind of worried about that. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily like to brag. Never mind. Screw that. Don't do that. Just say thank you. That's all you need to. They know who they are, and I have an amazing group of people over here, and I have no doubt, and people that aren't watching now will watch the replay, and hopefully they'll get the information too. So I'll make sure that I post your Cash App and your GoFundMe on my community page as well, just in case,
Oh.
because I like my music, and sometimes I get copyrighted on my music, and when I edit it, it takes my chat away. So I will post it in my community page just in case the chat disappears after I edit it. So, but
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me on here. I really do.
no, I appreciate you coming and sharing your personal experience, and you've really brightened my day. You brought tears to my eyes, but you brightened my day. And I hope you helped other people understand what's going on, and you're not just some rando on YouTube
Yeah.
asking for money, without reason. That's important.
Toothless, tongue hanging out.
Hey,
But sorry, yeah.
look at the puppy. I love animals. They're great.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. I'm not asking for money to get a new computer or a TV or anything like that. Like, and that's the weird thing about when all this first happened. Like, I had because I went in. I don't know if it's taboo to say the name over here or not, but I went into LC's chat, and
You can say else.
he's the one that. Okay, I know he rubs some people the wrong way, but
Cool with me.
so I went in his panel. He's like, "Hey, where you been?" Blah blah blah. And basically, I told him what happened, and he tried to go fund me out of me and all this stuff. And the support at first was great. I had his channel alone got me over $4,000 worth of donations, which is awesome.
Nice.
2,000 of that came from two people. Two people I'd never met until the one night when they donated me $1,000, and then a few weeks later happened again, donated me $1,000, and it was awesome. It was amazing. But that was all that came in the beginning. And people from work were sending down money, and everybody, but now that it's 6 months into us, everybody's just kind of like, okay, well, we donated to him. He's good, kind of thing. And it's like, now I need that money more than ever before,
Dwindled down. It's kind of like when you have a loss in the family, and everybody's all there, and you wish they would all go away so you could focus, so you could just like lock yourself in a dark room and cry it out. But when you really need them is like is a couple weeks later, and
there's nobody there.
Nobody around. Yeah, I get that. Yep, I get that. So, well, you are welcome to hang out and chat, and I thank you so very much. And I don't run an open panel like Belle does.
Yeah.
But I always welcome you in my chat. You'll always be in my heart, and I will continue periodically to remind people about your Cash App and your GoFundMe. So hopefully we can keep some income coming into you until you get back to work, and just let us know when you are back to work and you're steady, and I'll be checking on your GoFundMe. Look at that puppy.
There's the third doggy.
For all your updates. But I for sure would love to have you.
Yeah,
So if
cool.
something new and exciting pops up, let me know. We can get you back up on panel and you can update us.
I appreciate that so much, and thank you for all the love in chat and all the words of encouragement
Yeah.
and any donations that may
Chat
came
with your
in.
buddies in chat. You know most of them, I'm sure.
Yep. So I'm gonna drop down and hang out with them for sure, and listen to the rest of your show, and go have a cigarette.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Cutting.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that was amazing. I'm just in shock. I'm inspired. It's inspiring. So we have the other half of the show. I really need to take a break for a minute, go potty. I'm going to, let me see. I'm going to play a song to give me time to take a potty break and get my mind redirected to the next half of the show because it's going to go a whole different direction. So if you guys will just hang out and chat, give me just a couple of minutes. It won't take me long, I promise. Enjoy the song, and I'll be right back. Okay? Wait.
Welcome to the home of the hillbilly. Yeah, baby, it's a land of barbed wire and moonshine whiskey. Park your car before you get stuck. Go and grab you a beer and get on up in the truck. It's going down tonight. It's all on me. It's BYOB and I got all we need. Yeah, boy, I'm about to show me a set of slicker. How to kick it in the sticks with the critters down on our side of the barbed wire. Money grows and rolls. If it don't, you gon' roll. So we hang out by the bonfire. Just a good old boys having a dang good time. We crank it up, we get loud, throwing down in the dirty, dirty South down here. Being all night on it's in the heads. Jocks and bikers, they all came to kick it in the sticks. Drop a tailgate, yeah, we're cranking up AC/DC, Hank Skinner and George Strait. Where's the girls? Like to call them up. A little southern draw said, hey, trouble, what's up? It's going down tonight. Now they're pulling up, they got the jacked up trucks, a slap covered in mud. Bikini tops and Daisy Duke denim, hopping out, singing out long women down on our side of the barbed wire. Money grows and rolls, if it don't, you gon' roll. So we hang out by the bonfire. Just a good old boys having a dang good time. We crank it up, we get loud, throwing down in the dirty, dirty South down here. Being all night on 50s in the heads. Jocks and bikers, they all came to kick it in the sticks.
Well, Mama told me when I was young, said sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say. And if you do this it'll help you some sunny day. Oh, take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. You'll find a woman and you'll find love. And don't forget that there is a someone up above. And be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Get your lust from the rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Oh, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? So baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can?
Okay, I'm back. I'll have to get up in a second and let Cooper in. He didn't want to come in when he was told. So, on to the next order of business. I just felt like HarLeeDad's was important, so I wanted to give him the stage. Bob Farrell. He did a show the other day. Oh, wait. Hang on. I got a cat trying to walk across my keyboard, dude. Stop it. Hang on, I gotta do something real quick. There we go. I got a new nickname. So I had to change my name to my new nickname. Because it's appropriate for today's discussion. So Bob Farrell did a show the other day. Now, my mama raised me to respect my elders, so this is not a bashing show. I'm not going to bash the dude. I just want to address some of his show.
Yeah. If you want to go, then you go to hill and go down.
Why you get
Okay,
fried,
yes,
man?
why? Are you crazy?
You're fucking paranoid,
You are
man.
fucking, you are fucking.
You fucking you bloody.
You bloody-
Fuck you bloody. Bastard bitch.
You
fuck you,
bastard,
fuck
you.
you. Bloody fuck you bloody. Fucking mother bloody fuck bitch.
Bitch, you,
Bloody
what
fuck
do?
you fucking bloody bastard. Benchwood bloody.
Branchot, you.
You blunder.
No, but why? Is
Bloody no.
Why?
Bloody
That
fucking.
is accident, then what you wanna do?
Why you fuck me? I fuck you bloody. Bloody bastard. Fucking running like lady, eh? Bloody. What the fuck, man? Fucking now shout at me, innit? Why you shouting at me?
Because I am going to the work. If you don't do, you do to other places.
Why you shouting?
Because of this, you are doing. I don't know. You are doing like this. I think you are going to accident.
No, shouting at me no good, man. Me no shout at you.
But the thing is that, what you think if you do like this one, you are going at work and somebody else.
But
do
that
like
one,
this.
if you running like that one, you gonna fucking fall, innit?
But
Hurting yourself.
But yeah, because of this, I save myself.
That one very icy road, man. Okay, have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bob, why you assaulting me so bad? Bob, he keeps assaulting me so bad. So, I had a couple questions for Bob. Now, yesterday, I emailed Bob and inviting him to the panel. And I told him I would be discussing him today, so it's no big secret, which is not normally something that I do. But I wanted to, ask him on panel to kind of hopefully answer some questions, because it's not like I'm welcome to call his show and talk to him. So, I have been painted out to be this horrible human being. We've all discussed it. We've all seen it. We've all heard it. I'm the devil. I'm this. I'm taking over YouTube's channels, this, that, and the other, yada, 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 whatever. I mean, it's kind of comical. I was trying to explain to my husband the other night when I was watching Bob's, because he asked me, because I was cooking, and while I was cooking, I was taking notes. So he was like, "What's with the notebook?" I'm a note taker, so I wanted to make, like notes on what it was. Now, he literally only spent like a millisecond on me, which I appreciate. And it was about me buying a water heater, which, shake it out, buddy, shake it out. That was Mayo. He was shaking it out. Anyway, about me buying a water heater, and my husband was like, "What the fuck?" And he was like, "What if we were buying everybody water heaters? What business is it of anybody else's?" I was like, "I know, right? I know." Watcher Crazy wants to interview me. I'm scared. That scares me, Watcher Crazy. But I did take notes, and there were, I say a couple. Ranger was kind of laughing at me. There's like 15 things I was just curious about. I'm a curious person. Do you mind giving me half a second? The big bad wolf's trying to kick my door in because he wants inside. Hang on one sec. Stop. You stop it. Come on. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Yeah, my cats are trying to fight now too. I told you they're crazy. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Yeah. So, I mean, the funniest part of it is he was like, his exact words to me were like, "You buy a water heater?" And then he laughed hysterically because he knows that I don't know shit about water heaters. That, that's what I married him for. So the first thing was, he mentioned that Salty was nice and all for helping Kurt with $1,000. I don't know the story behind all that, and it's none of my business, and I'm not getting into that. But my question was, but I'm evil. I'm evil for helping somebody out. I'm evil for sending cash apps, diapers, hot water heaters, which, by the way, I never sent or bought or in any way, shape, or form purchased a water heater for Belle or anybody else. I wouldn't know the first thing about it. Like, I would literally have to send a repairman to her house first, determine what kind of hot water heater she needed. I don't live in New York, so I have no idea what the hell she needs. I didn't even know what a boiler was until I was talking to somebody else from up north. I was like, what the hell? Because like Belle, we have central air and heat, so we don't use boilers. We use hot water heaters. But anyway, I wouldn't know the first thing about that. But apparently it's okay for other people to help people, but except me. I'm sorry, I'm reading through my notes. You know, I kind of giggled because he's made the comment, everybody lies, everybody fibs. Okay, I'll give him that maybe. And then I giggled again. He said he might speak nasty from time to time. And I was like, oh, really? Because he has spoken very nasty about me a lot. Like, he has called me trailer trash. He called me a cunt. He told me to fuck off. All of this unprovoked. Like, I've never disrespected him to my knowledge. In his mind, I did. I don't know how I did it, but you know, I really wished he would have accepted my invitation to come up here, but I understand why he didn't. I just thought that was funny. He says that my notes are not making sense to me now either. It's kind of funny. He says that people turned on Bob because of salty. Oh, yeah. It was mentioned that people turned on Bob because of salty subs. And that's absolutely not true. A lot of my subs came from Salty's channel because that's where I originally came from. And I learned a lot over there. So and they didn't, you know, not everybody turned on me over there. So I think people turned on Bob because Bob like turned into a nasty old man. I mean, that's the only thing I can explain. Like, he is definitely not the same person he used to be. And he is very difficult to take seriously right now because of the because of the things that he talks about and says. I was excited that he had created a channel and he was going to talk about Dylan until I heard the crap that he was saying about Dylan, and I was like, holy cow. It was weird. Like, it was shit that nobody's even heard. And then to find out where he got that information from that original Irish Rose, he was standing by his convictions with that and stating all her information as a fact. And all in the same time, he was complaining about how crazy she was and how she was sending him threatening messages, but still continuing to pass her information on to his subscribers as facts about the Dylan case. That's crazy. There was something that Marcy Girl said. Not everything you hear on YouTube is true. The context of that comment was when she was defending Steve and herself. And I couldn't agree with that comment more. But I also remember her being on the very panel that was discussing very much false information about me. So, yeah, no. So, everybody, when you hear shit, just take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research. That's all I know to say about that. It's kind of weird. It was kind of weird that she was up there and saying that. Bob referred to me as a sugar daddy, buying things and giving money. I was like, wow, I'm a sugar daddy. My husband was like, does he mean sugar mama maybe? I mean, the guy, I have to respect him because he's my elder. He is old enough to be my father. And I just, wonder what's going on. I mean, he could do so much more positive things with his channel than that. Let me see. What else? Let's see. Oh, the one of the important things he said. One of the important things he said that I liked was he said that people that give money always get shit on by the people they give money to. And I thought, the people that I have helped have never shit on me. Never. And it's not because I have anything over them. It's not because I've taken their channel over. It's because I'm a good person. The only people that shit on me for helping people, giving them money, what they say by, in their opinion or whatever, in their version of their truth that I bought hot water heaters for, the only people that shit on me are the idiots talking about what I spend my money on. That's it. I have never been shit on by somebody that I've helped on YouTube. That's just a fact. I don't know what else to say. I mean, if that's happening on YouTube, that's horrible. But all I've ever gotten was gratitude, thanks, and appreciation, and a new friend. And that's it. So I don't know what they're talking about. That's crazy. I just want to, I just want to know. I mean, does Bob ever have anything positive to talk about on his channel where he represents, his care for the Dylan Rounds case? Because I haven't heard one single thing positive. Not one. And if I'm wrong, please correct me on that. I just haven't. I do. I know he does that online gambling thing, and I think that's great. My father did that as an escape. My father used to be my mom's primary caregiver, and she had Alzheimer's. And before he got cancer, he was her primary caregiver, and he did a lot of that same online gambling that Bob does. And I never said a word to him about it because, hey, behave. Oh, I sprayed old man. He's never been sprayed with a water bottle before, so he's like in shock. He's being territorial right now. Anyway, so Daddy used to do that online gambling all the time, and that was his escape from his me time, if you want to say that, to get away from the reality of what he dealt with on a daily basis, dealing with, and caring for somebody with Alzheimer's, especially your wife of 40 years. It can do a lot for you. I know it was a lot on me, but so what if Bob does the online gambling? It's none of anybody's business. It's certainly none of my business. So the reason I'm mentioning that is it's none of his business or anybody's what I spend my money on and who I help and who I take care of and who this and who that. I mean, I don't have an opinion. I don't doubt it. If he's bored and wants to do online gambling, it's his money. I don't care. I don't pay his bills. But I do have a question for Bob. I really wish Bob would have shown up. He loves to talk shit. Shit. Just talk shit. Call me names. Talk crap about me. What's happening? Are we having a fight again? Anyway, he loves to talk shit, but he wouldn't show up to my panel so that I could have a civilized conversation with him and ask him these questions. But I do have a question. Hey, Bob, if I buy you a Lyft recliner, can I take over your channel? Just asking. Just asking.
Yeah. If you want to go, then you go to hill and go down.
Why you get fried,
yes,
man?
why? Are you crazy?
You're fucking paranoid,
You are
man.
fucking. You are fucking.
You fucking you bloody.
You bloody.
Fuck you bloody. Bastard bitch.
You
fuck
bastard,
fuck
you.
you. Bloody fuck you bloody. Fucking mother bloody fuck bitch.
Bitch, you.
Bloody
what
fuck
do?
you. Fucking bloody bastard. Benchwood bloody.
Branchot, you.
You blunder.
No, but why?
Bloody no.
Why?
Bloody
That
fucking.
is accident. Then what you wanna do?
Why you fuck me? I fuck you bloody. Bloody bastard. Fucking running like lady, eh? Bloody. What the fuck, man? Fucking now shout at me, innit? Why are you shouting at me?
Because I am going to the work. If you don't do, you do to other places.
Why are you shouting?
Because of this, you are doing. Hello. I don't know. You are doing like this. I think you are going to accident.
No, shouting at me no good, man. Me no shout at you.
But the thing is that, what you think if you do like this one, you are going at work and somebody else.
But
do
that
like
one,
this.
if you running like that one, you gonna fucking fall, innit?
But
hurting yourself.
But yeah, because of this, I saved myself.
That one very icy road, man. Okay, have a nice day. Bye-bye.
So that shit cracks me up. You know what? That little video right there was given to me by a friend of mine, or shown to me by a friend of mine. I downloaded it, and I had to add it. We had to add it to the StreamYard because it reminds me of all the fighting going on YouTube. Makes no sense. No context to it. I understand what it started off to be, but at this point, I don't get it. So, on that note, since Bob no-showed, he no-showed. I want to end on a good note. I'm going to continue to run. Oh, where did it go? I want to continue to support. There we go. I want to continue to support HarLeeDad, show our love and support to HarLeeDad and his family with his Cash App right there. It's running on the banner below. Also his PayPal. Keep him and his family in thoughts. I mean, he's got young children. He's an amazing guy. He's everywhere, and he's always defender of the universe. He's a gentleman. He defends the females when the males are wrong. He's been a huge support for a lot of females on YouTube, and I just want to show him that we appreciate him. We see you, HarLeeDad. We see you. You're out there, and you're cared about, and your family is loved and cared about also, and we'll do the best we can. So any extra money you got in your pockets, throw it HarLeeDad's way. It would mean a lot. I mean, even if it's just enough to buy a pack of ramen noodles, that's a pack of ramen noodles. That's something to feed. Yeah, that's something to make a meal for somebody. So every little bit helps, and HarLeeDad, thank you so much for coming up and being the star of my show today, and giving your time and energy to my panel and opening yourself up to everybody. I have mad respect for you. So everybody have a wonderful day. Continue to share HarLeeDad's Cash App for me and his GoFundMe account. We got a couple, we got 3 more songs to play. So throughout those songs, we got 3 more. Keep sharing that Cash App and GoFundMe. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here for me.
Yeah, I ain't packing up shit, I'ma die in my hometown and be buried in the dirt that used to grow my loud. Rolling Stone is always gonna be the pothead jam. I'm that young gun walking legendary footsteps with a size 12 boot, same gauge as my Mossberg, leaving dukes of hazard marks around all of the sharp curves. Up church, I fought a couple McCoys. I'm from the countryside of Nashville where celebrities don't go. Few friends, lot of guns, and some space to ride. Dancing neon lights where all my neighbors go fight when they spend half of the checks on cold Bud Light and show up to church with fat lips and black eyes. Yeah, I'm redneck rich, driveway still ain't paved. Then I live in a single wide from like 1978. I got a dog named Mary Jane and she barks like a narc. So don't be trespassing my shit when it's quiet and after dark, cause I'm a with the windows rolled up and the marijuana burning. Tennessee living with the wolves howling. Having fun all night, but I work all day. And I can smell a pig from a mile away. I pull up to the country club, I'm the one they looking at. Wheels big as fuck, my wallet looking like a backpack. I got that Smoky Mountain grass and I'm lighting away. My lifestyle smell like Willie Nelson's personal place. And I really do got that shine like a sunny Florida day. And my girl hotter than white sand on the dried out bay. And all my tattoos look like shit and I'm rocking a beer gun. But your girl digging this dad bod, so suck my nuts. Suck my nuts. With the windows rolled up and the marijuana burning. Tennessee living with the wolves howling. Having fun all night, but I work all day. And I can smell a pig from a mile away. I ain't nothing like these hip-hop rappers running around. I grew up in Music City, this is my damn town. I got businessmen watching my every damn move. Here's 2 middle fingers for a big fuck you. You can slander my name and sticking knives in my back. I'm still going down in history like Kid, Waylon, and Cash. Keep your motherfucking money, cause I'm proud white trash. My mama don't even tell me how I should act. With the windows rolled up and the marijuana burning. Tennessee living with the wolves howling. Having fun all night, but I work all day. And I can smell a pig from a mile away. And I can smell a pig from a mile away. Cowboy.
It's all the same. All your names will change every day. It seems we're wasting away. And now the planes, oh, and the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse.